Good afternoon, everybody. The class was delayed because of insurance management subject. I think the class didn't happen.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
It will be taken at a later stage today. Okay. So today we are going to conduct the second module. We are going to start with learning about the concept of responsibility centers. Okay. Now the way in which we are going to conduct today's class is a little different. I want everyone's involvement because this is a theoretical concept and your understanding is more important than me just saying blah blah blah, right? So I want everyone to pay attention and make sure you are involved in the class. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So does
Okay, ma'am.
everyone remember the concept that we studied in the previous class? What were the concept we covered earlier? In the last class, what all did we study?
Ma'am, business units,
Yes, we
Focus
studied
focus,
model.
and
strategies. We studied the business unit strategies that are adopted. Which are all the strategies did we cover?
portals, post model,
CG matrix.
Portless 5.
Yes, yes, BCG matrix,
Generic electric
Porter's
group matrix.
General Electric Group matrix, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What all did you actually learn from the discussion?
ma'am, how the company uses the strategies,
Yeah,
different types of strategies.
yes. Why do you think companies today need these strategies to do well in the market? Why are these goals, strategies, and different things that we discussed? Why do you think they are important?
For
Ma'am,
achieving a goal, ma'am.
it helps them to understand the opportunities, threats, strengths of their business.
Yes. Anybody else was answering?
Achieving a proper goal in the proper way.
Okay.
To stay for long time.
You're telling me why they are doing this. I am asking what is the need of having specific strategies, specifically the strategies, business unit strategies that we discussed in the earlier class. Why do you think these strategies, which explain the concepts of how each business unit is handled, why do you think these are important specifically in today's business arena?
To reach
To analyze
particular
the
goals or
competition.
overcome from the problems, ma'am.
Okay, that's a generic one. Okay, anybody else?
To understand the strengths and
To
weaknesses.
analyze the competition in the business.
Yes, very good.
To know the where their position is there in the market.
Yes, that is another valid point. Anybody else wants to try? Okay,
To know the performance of the company.
yes. Specifically, Sonali, not only company, but the business units. That is why I am stressing upon the concept of a business unit. Now, how many of you know what actually a company and a business unit mean? What is the difference between a company and a business unit? Can somebody give an example? What do you mean by a company? Give an example of a company. Company, man.
Reliance.
Okay.
Wipro.
Yes. What else? Can't everyone quickly say a company name?
Infosys, ma'am.
Yes.
Tata, Reliance.
Yes. Now, tell me examples of business units. The names that you just took are corporate houses or companies in general. How do you differentiate the concept of a business unit? How will you learn what a business unit means? You've heard of SBU. You've all studied strategic management, remember?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
You
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
all have gone through the
Yes, ma'am.
concept of SBU, strategic business units.
Yes, ma'am.
Can somebody tell me what SBU means? No one? What do you mean by a strategic business unit?
Ma'am, business unit is a division or department in the same company.
Yes. For example,
Ma'am, like accounting, marketing.
okay, those can be the department categorizations, true. But on a corporate level, what can be a business unit? A strategic business unit can also mean the categories of businesses under which your corporate is working. I had given you an example of Tata, if you remember in the earlier classes. Tata Group is a company, right?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Under their umbrella, they have n number of different businesses which the company is into. Each of these is again established as a company individually, independently, but they all are involved in the umbrella of Tata Group, right? So what are all the subsidiary units which are SBUs of Tata?
Tata Steel, Tata
Steel,
Communication,
Communications, Tata Motors,
Tata Motors,
retail, yes, FMCG category. Okay, these and hotels specifically. So these are all strategic business units of the Tata Group. Everyone is understanding?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
If you consider Reliance Industries Limited, which are all the companies under the umbrella of RIL. Under Reliance Industries Limited, which all companies are there?
Reliance Communication, Reliance.
All of you are here, no? Everyone knows RIL?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Are they involved only in one business?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
So
ma'am.
subsidiaries of Reliance Industries Limited.
Friends, ma'am. Plans,
Yeah.
friends, Reliance Communication.
Yes.
They are into
So
electronics.
yes. So Reliance specifically is into petroleum. So Reliance
Yes.
Petroleum is one. Then Reliance Jio is one. Reliance Retail, that is trends, like you said, that is one. Okay, they have also entered into a musical stream, like
Electronics.
they have purchased Savan. So Jio Savan is another unit. They also have research organizations where the footprint of Reliance can be seen. So if you list down all these can be called as strategic business units of corporate. Everyone is understanding?
yes, ma'am.
This is what we are going to study today. Okay, so when we are learning about management control system, okay, there has to be a system which helps us to manage all of these SBUs into a single entity, but they also have to be operating individually. Okay, like Mansi pointed out earlier, SBU can also mean a interdepartmental dependency. That is, your finance department, operations department, marketing department, HR department are also strategic units within the company. So we are talking about a hierarchy. Okay, the chart that you drew for every organization. So that whole concept of how the organization chart is going to work, specifically when it comes to establishing systems and managing control. That is what responsibility center is going to help us do. Okay, so this was the base with which we'll be continuing. Everyone can see the slide?
Yes, ma'am.
So firstly, let us start typically with the definition. So a responsibility center is an organization unit, that is SBU, that is headed by a manager who is responsible for its activities. Responsibility centers usually form a hierarchy. Thus, a company's detailed organization chart is a logical sequence or source for identifying the responsibility centers. If every center meets its objectives, the organization's goals will be achieved. The most common responsibility centers are often the departments within a company. Okay, so what this means is, when a company is deciding about how they are going to best manage and control the working of the company, the basic of having this control or establishing a system is based on the business units. Okay, like it is called as organization unit. Okay, this organization unit for a individual independent company can be the departments within the organization, or if MNC is handling the say strategic department or the direction of the firm, then even the business units individually can be called as responsibility centers. Okay, so a responsibility center is a unit in the organization which is going to be answerable to the management. Okay, so generally a manager is being appointed and he is considered to be the authority for answering why this unit is not doing well, or what are the performance measures or advantages that this unit has because of which it is doing well. Okay, so either way, responsibility center is this unit which is going to be answerable to the management. Everyone is clear? So
Yes, ma'am.
when you are establishing a management control system in a company, defining what is going to be your responsibility center and who is the manager who is going to be involved in the system is the first step with which you start your application of the management control. Okay, in order to understand this, okay, you can understand the process of the core operation of a responsibility center like this. Okay, mainly a company is involved in a specific business line, so that is the work that they are going to do. Okay, it may be a manufacturing concern, a service organization, a trading unit, whatever. Okay, any business, if you remember the introductory class during an orientation that I had taken, okay, the working of a business specifically can be explained with these two concepts easily, whatever business it is. Okay, so if you have a say particle manufacturing unit, okay, so your manufacturing organization manufacturing particle boards for the furnitures is your work. Okay, how do you do that? You need inputs in the form of sawdust, glue, machinery, people and money. These are all your inputs. Work is where you transform and create the product that you're going to sell, and the output is going to be the performances of the people, your profits and sales that you do. Okay, apply this model to any kind of business. Okay, like even a service organization like a salon. Okay, a salon also is a unit where the main work which they are concentrating on is providing of different variety of personal services for grooming, right? So a haircut, etc. Their inputs are going to be the people, the technology, the technology of tools and things that they use. Okay, and specifically the training for people, because you can't just let anyone cut your hair. So that is all going to be the input, right? This is the work that they do, provide the service individually to the people, and the output is going to be the service that you provided and the customer satisfaction, whether they are happy with the service or not, right? So apply this model to any business. That is what the core operation of a business is, right? So when it comes to a responsibility center, the same allocation of the model can happen. Okay, when it comes to input, the resources which are used, okay, generally are measured by the cost. Okay, so when a company is deciding how this XYZ departments are performing, so what they will do is, first they will list down the inputs that the particular department has used. So they measure it by rupees cost. Okay, how much money are they actually using as input, so whether it is purchase of raw material or the people's salaries that they are paying, the rent for the warehouse, whatever. After that, they assess what is the money which is required for handling the business. So that can be called as a capital or a working capital for managing every day, right? So say step 2. Third is what they are going to measure, what is the outcome that this initial stage has come up with. So what are those goods and services, the sales and profits that the responsibility center has come out with, right? So the core operation of a responsibility center is to optimize the input, that is use the best resources available at the optimum cost, so that you don't compromise on the quality but then save money as well. Okay, make sure that you have the latest technologies of working, make the best use of the money capital that you have, and then make sure that the goods and services which are coming out of the business are being absorbed efficiently. That is, your cost is less, your sales is more, and your responsibility center is doing well. Okay, so when it comes to department wise understanding, you can say the working of, say, the finance department. So the input for the finance departments are resources. So now these resources for the department can be the salaries paid for the people, the money that they are generating out of the issue of shares or coming up with loans. Okay, their work is to make sure that the capital structure is properly assigned, your balance sheets and accounting procedures that are adopted are working properly, payment of everyone's salaries and say suppliers, everyone whom you have to pay, are all done accurately, and the output is going to be the final result report sheets that they prepare. So every department, if you put through this, okay, can work similarly. So a responsibility center can be a department, or it can be a specific separate business unit as well. Okay, everyone understood this?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so let us learn the meanings of the whole model. Okay, so the first thing we need to learn is what is the relationship between the input and the output. Okay, so inputs and outputs may be related directly, say through the production department, or indirectly, say through advertising expenses or sales. Okay, so how are inputs and outputs related to each other? So what is the input? Maybe you're producing goods, so how many units did you purchase and how many did you sell? Okay, so matching this can be one way of looking at input and output. Or indirectly, that is, not only consider the units as an output, but also the expenses and money that you're spending for marketing, or how much expenses did you do and how much sales did you do. So cost wise or output wise, both ways you can have the measurement and comparison of input and output. Okay, then how do you measure input and the output for making decisions whether the responsibility center is doing well? Okay, so inputs are generally measured in terms of physical measurements always, because inputs are something that you are going to procure. So maybe it is in kgs or units, or the final cost, okay, the money that you have spent for gathering all the resources. So what all inputs you have purchased and what it has cost you is going to be the measurement which is used for the inputs of the center. And then the outputs, since they are very difficult to measure, like I said, for a service organization, customer satisfaction is the output. So you can't exactly give it a cost perspective or a profit measurement to compare it with the input. So since outputs are difficult to measure, they are generally not widely used as yardsticks. Okay, that is to check whether responsibility center is doing well. They don't just compare the cost and the output directly. Okay, because measuring exact output, not sales, but the qualitative part of it becomes a little difficult. Lastly, the most important aspect of managing efficiency and effectiveness is what the responsibility center is going to be judged for. Okay, so efficiency and effectiveness are the two criteria by which the performance of a responsibility center is going to be judged by the organization. So if it is a department, you go how efficient and effective is department A, B, C, D, and compare and come up with the result. If you are having a discussion about the MNC, then how is this business A, business 2, B, C and D. So separately, how are effectiveness and efficiency in each of these business units? Okay, so the efficiency is going to be calculated as a ratio between outputs and input. Okay, so like here you measure in kgs, or say if you have a tangible product, what were the number of units you purchased and what were the number of units you sold. Okay, so the ratio is going to be total number of outputs units sold divided by total units purchased. Okay, if you are considering this as rupees, so what was the cost of input and cost of output? So sales divided by cost. Okay, something like that. That is how efficiency is going to be calculated. And then effectiveness is the relation between the responsibility center's output and its objective. So this is a you can say a subjective matter. Okay, what were the targets which were given to them? What were the frame lines according to which they were supposed to work? All this is seen when effectiveness of this responsibility center is judged. Okay, everyone with me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So now we will concentrate on what are the different types of responsibility centers. Okay, so there are categories of how you can divide a responsibility center. Like we discussed, the measurement is difficult. So accordingly, you can divide the responsibility center in 4 different categories or types. Okay, so responsibility center, when you as a manager are deciding, you can divide this as a revenue center. You can divide your responsibility center as a expense or cost center, then the profit center and the investment center. Okay, so dividing your responsibility centers will make it easier for the responsibility center to know their roles, what is expected out of them, so manager can work easily, and you can keep a track and control easily when everyone has been given their expected performance and evaluation explanations earlier. Okay, so the word itself is going to tell you this revenue center is going to be mainly focusing on the revenue that the center is going to earn. So say the department which is mainly concerned with revenue, like marketing and sales, is going to be focusing on how much money they are making. What they spend is not that relevant here. Okay, that is how they are judged. Basically, marketing department is going to be accountable or responsible for sales and marketing activities, promotion and outdoor selling, etc. They are not going to be asked how much money you have used, why you have used, etc. Right? The expense or the cost center is going to be that responsibility center which manages the usage of money. Because how much to spend, how much to give the marketing department, how much to provide salaries to the people in the organization. So managing the money and keeping it in track is what expense center is going to do. Naturally, this is going to be the finance department and accounting department in the organization. The profit center also can be interrelated to these, the operations mainly. You can say the main manager or the operations department is going to be the profit center, who is going to be talked about how much ROI they are generating, what is the year-on-year profit increase that is happening. So they are going to be responsible to make sure that these people earn highest sales and these people reduce their costs so that their profit is increasing, right? And then you have the investment center to make sure that all of these get sufficient money in order to manage efficiently. What all can you do with the profits earned in order to maintain your business and increase and expand your business efficiently? So this is what the responsibility center is going to do. Okay, so let us learn each of these. The meaning of a revenue center: it is a unit where output is measured in monetary terms, but it is rarely matched with the output. Okay, because that is what the responsibility center's responsibility is. Okay, it is where the manager controls the revenue but does not control cost. It is someone else's responsibility. Okay, like marketing and sales departments in an organization. Expense centers are also called cost centers, are the business units whose inputs are measured in monetary terms but outputs are not measured. Okay, so it is where a manager is accountable for the costs but not the revenue. So revenue is someone else's duty. Okay, the types of expense centers can be an engineered expense center where the costs can be easily estimated, and discretionary expense center where these are costs, estimations of costs. Calculation of these is not very easy and feasible, but it is totally based on the management judgment. Okay, so these are expense centers. Revenue centers responsible for sales, generating money. Expense centers are accounting centers responsible for maintaining the expenses and costs. Then you have the profit center. It is a unit where the responsibility center's financial performance is measured in the monetary terms. That is, they are accountable for the profit. Okay, so it is a part of a business accountable for costs and revenue both, because These are the SBUs. Generally, we'll discuss it in the next class, examples of each. So strategic business units are called profit centers because they are individually running as businesses. So they are responsible for earning money as well as spending money. So they have to make sure that earning money is more, spending is less, so that profits increase. Lastly, investment center is a profit center whose performance is measured by the return on capital employed. So what is the rate of development, okay, of ROI that is calculated is what investment centers accountability is. Okay, so where a profit center is responsible for making capital investment or capital structure decisions, working capital, etc., they will be generally called as an investment center. Okay, so I think we'll stop here for today. If anyone has not understood a concept, you can clarify. Any doubts? Anyone has not understood any concept?
No, ma'am. No.
Can everyone send in your attendances, please? Okay, so this module, another class we'll finish with theory, but we are going to have solving of problems in this module. This is going to be a little technical difficulty because these problems are lengthy, easy, but then they have to be solved. So I'm still thinking how to conduct the class, whether to write it on a piece of paper and show you so that you can copy it down, or use Excel or Word. What are your suggestions? What will be easier for you to manage? If you're going to solve problems, how do you prefer we do it online?
Ma'am, Excel.
Because the thing is, you can't just sit and
Ma'am, we can do it.
yeah, because you need to
Ma'am,
be
we can
involved, you need to solve. Okay, I'll explain how to do it, but then
simultaneously.
yeah, exactly, it has to happen simultaneously. Mansi, what I'm saying is, should I start my camera and show you, you know, on paper, or I'll just share screen and show you how it is to be done so that you can solve it on your own. So I'll decide how to do it, but everyone remember that say another 4 or 5 classes we are going to solve problems. So everyone needs to be ready with a paper, pen and calculator, okay? Because unless you solve, you're not going to understand. And MCS has practical problems also in the final exam. So in the next class, please make sure that everyone has their pens and papers ready. Okay, maybe we'll take down some formula and initial understanding, then we can start with the problem. Okay. There are 2 people who have not given attendance. I'll read out the names. Please listen, everybody. If your name is not called out, then send the message. Okay. The attendances who is recorded are Rumana, Ankita, Shubham, Suguna, Alisha, Prachi, Poonam, Sonali, Lakshmi, Urv, Nivedita, Etesham, Nancy, Aarti, Salahuddin, Pooja, Neha, Sachidanand, Santosh S and Gautam. Has anyone else not sent your attendance? Everyone who's in the class has sent the attendance?
Yes, ma'am.
Because
Ma'am, my name is not K, ma'am.
send your message, Baba.
Yes, ma'am.
Check whom you are addressing to. If you have an individual chat on, make sure you send it to everyone. Yeah, your attendance received. Okay, so we'll stop for today, guys. This video will be uploaded on YouTube. I hope all of you have seen the Google Classroom. I've shared the link for the previous video there. Okay, so anyone who is anyone who is missing class today has to make sure they inform me why they have not attended the class, right? Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. Bye.